Taylor, you don't believe in soulmates?
No, but I'm sure Tomatoes does.
I don't believe in soulmates either.
Yeah, there actually is, and well, I think it's more of a term used.
Yes, I believe there's such thing as a soulmate, because in marriage, that's the one you find the person you're going to be with forever.
I think it really depends, because it really matters on the person, and everybody's...
I don't think so. I do believe that you can love someone a lot and, like, stay with them forever, but I don't think there's, like, one person that's perfect for you. I just think it's a matter of you have to learn to not only love yourself, you have to learn to put trust into someone else. You have to be able to love someone's flaws. Like, even after you've been together for years, maybe there's still one thing that annoys you. You can't always change that, and I think a soulmate is more of a person you were meant for, whereas
not everybody has a soulmate. Well, some people are lucky enough to have one, and I'm supposing that not everybody meets their soulmate if they do have one. I believe that everybody has the one, and sometimes they don't meet the one, but yeah, I think it's kind of like a 50-50 chance that there is a soulmate or not.
Say you're in one country and your soulmate's in the other country. There is fate for that person to come and you two to meet. So, in ways it's like, it totally could have happened,
And you love them. Like, that's the whole point. You marry each other because you love each other. You love one another. You want to be with that person for the rest of your life. And that's what I think a soulmate is or defines. But also, marriages don't work because, like, divorce, and that's when you don't think you found the one, or found that your soulmate, because you don't love each other anymore, and that's why you get divorced. You don't have that feeling you have with that person the day you first met, and that's just, it's heartbreaking, but yet you don't feel anything for that person, so yet you don't feel guilty, because everyone feels that way. Like, sometimes you don't have romances, like relationships, sometimes you don't feel like things with the person like with a person that you do with another person. Like, you feel something really strong with one person, and the other person you don't feel nothing.
soulmate is the one that you prefer more, I guess. Like, they'd have one or two more things that, like, you just happen to bump into them instead of other people because those other people have better soulmates for them. So, there's probably more than one soulmate, but sometimes people use the term as soulmates as the one you marry, and it works out with forever, I guess, or not, I don't know. But basically, it's like, I think it's just another term that, like, you two meet, and it works, so that's like a soulmate, because there was a possibility of it not working. I think that's what really makes a soulmate. And yeah, I definitely do think it exists.
loving someone is to actually love them. So that's my opinion on it. I don't think there's a soulmate, but I do think there's true love, and that's just when you really do love someone.
But if you break up with someone, and you guys still have feelings for each other when you're broken up, and you just, like, you made mistakes in the past, that's why you broke up, and then you keep running back to each other because you still love that person, because from the day you first met, and you get back together and just try to make it work, that's what I think a soulmate is. When you keep running back to each other because you can't get over them, and that you still have those feelings for that person the day you first met, and that's what I think a soulmate is, because you eventually would fall in love, really fall in love, and get married, because you ran back to each other, and you just you realize that you were destined to be together, because you couldn't stay apart. You can stay broken up, like, you wanted to fix things, you wanted to make your relationship stronger, and that's what I think a soulmate is, making your relationship stronger, overcoming the mistakes you've made in the past, and just making your love stronger with one another, and that's what I think. And then you get married, and then you just live your life with that. You live your life with that person for the rest of your life.
I don't quite believe it, but I don't deny it as well. So I'm, like, on a scale of, like, in the middle. You know what I mean? Hopefully you do.
I don't think there's love at first sight either. I think love at first sight is more of a, I like you, I think you're hot, come, like, you know, you're really adorable, I trust you, but I don't think it's like you see someone like a Disney movie. The biggest Disney fan ever doesn't think Disney love exists.
No, at least he didn't say, like, she's my cousin or she's like a distant niece.
I'm so regretting telling you that now.
Hey, there's another guy out there for you. I know it.
When you like a friend, I've never had this, but it's very awkward when you're in the friend zone because
I personally just act like I don't like him, which is a pretty bad idea in my opinion, but
We should definitely drop hints. You should, like, make it really obvious, but you should see if it would kind of work, like flirt or something, and,
Now, as everybody knows, this is my biggest problem because I don't like girls. Girls are just so bitchy. So I have a lot of guy friends. If you know me personally, you'd know that I am 100% a flirt. Like, not even on purpose. Like, sometimes it even happens like I'm flirting with girls. But I always believe that, like, you just have to go with it. Sometimes you might be stuck in a zone. My best friend, we're stuck in a zone where we're never going to date. We're never going to be friends. We're just going to be that. We've never kissed. I always shy away from that because I feel like once you kiss, that makes it awkward. But if you hug, if you kiss, not kiss, if you hug, if you smile, if you're winking at each other, if you're flirting, it could happen. It could not. And I think you can't. It's one of those things you can't push. Do not push it. Do not be like, look, we have to be one or the other. Just kind of let it slow along because if the guy really does truly like you and you've been friends for a long time, then it's best to stay friend zoned. I know you might not want to hear that, but it really is. Unless, I mean, I've lost friends in 4 or 5 years because we dated and it screwed over badly.
I don't know. When you're in a friend zone, if you're speaking to Gordo or Chase, Gordo from Lizzie McGuire, Chase is the one. That's a very awkward friend zone. They're the biggest friend zoners probably in like television. But like if you like a friend, you have to like actually tell them how you feel in real life because it's not going to happen in the TV shows. It's not going to happen in the movies where the friend just like automatically at the end just like tells you has feelings for you and you like end up having feelings for them. It's just like a fairy tale. No, you got to tell him like first because you might move away. You guys might go to college. He'll never know how you feel. So you gotta tell him, like, right when you start having those feelings.
for some people it works. I suggest you to don't like tell him you like him. I think you should just like give small hints and like give him like small, I don't know, like give him like, I don't know how to explain it. I just think that you should give him small hints and like see if he likes you back before you say anything, because if he doesn't, just don't act on it. It really depends. I think it really depends on the situation, but I think you should not straight up and tell him unless you're the type of person who's like, okay, I'm gonna go tell everybody what I think about them to their face. And I don't really know any people like that. So I think it really depends on the situation, and usually you should just like drop small hints that you like him or something. I'm saying it's pretty complicated. I think that's like the thing. It's very complicated to know whether he likes you or not.
But don't go too far because you could lose your friend in the process, and it's better to have him as a friend, I guess, even if it's kind of painful. Like, you have to really think, like, in some terms, you might want to just get over them, in the term of liking them, and you're a friend. But if you really, really like them, then you should kind of just drop hints and see if it goes anywhere, like, if they pick it up and they're like, oh, you like me, like, that kind of thing.
And I'm just saying, don't like friends. Like, I understand that they're like your friends. A lot of the times when I like friends, it's because I've met a guy that I've liked and we broke up, or we, bad things happened and we never got together and I was desperate. And you start to realize that there's that guy that's listening to you complain about the other one. You're like, oh, this guy's being sweet. And you don't realize he's just doing what he's always done. You're like, oh, he's cute, he likes me, but that's not how it is. That's not the case. And I think that's the biggest issue, and you really have to watch that. Just, in my opinion, you just got to go with the flow, because if you don't, it's gonna fuck you and your friend over.
Something in the end, or you might feel something in the end if he likes you and you're friend zoning him. Like, you want to let him know before you guys, like, separate in the future and you'll never see each other again, or you might not have feelings anymore. But if you really, like, miss them or something and you, like, never had the chance to say it and you, like, feel so guilty, then do it. Like, right when you have feelings for them, like, wait a while, like, wait a little bit, but then tell them, because it's the best thing, like, for your friendship. Like, I know you don't want to ruin your friendship, but if you tell them how you feel, it could change it for the better. But maybe it would change for the worse, but I don't think so. I think it would change for the better if you tell them. Because I've had crushes that were my friends, but I've always been nervous to talk to my crush because I was like, what if he hates me? What if, like, I don't tell him how I feel and stuff? So, but I've never talked to him, so I don't really know how. But I feel like if you would talk to your friend that you have a crush on, it'd be okay. I mean, it wouldn't be a disaster.
Hi, I'm Haley. Welcome to our home away from home this summer. Let me show you around. Say hi, Summer.
Hi, Summer! I'm just kidding. But this summer is going to be kick-ass. Speaking of kick-ass, I'm gonna have to kick my sisters.
This is why you're recording. I'm spending the summer with some of the craziest, greatest people I know. There's Jordan, Summer, Corey, Vinny, Emma, and me. These guys just decided to show up. Okay, Jordan, show me happy. Now show me scared. How about sad? Really? That sad face was terrible.
You bitch. So are you coming in or what? You should probably do something about your hair.
Huh, that's really funny. I'd like to see what you'd look like if you slept out here all night.
I don't think he meant it.
Oh no, I did.
That was rude.
So what?
I'm still here.
He's sorry, and...
And?
You better be, Vin. That was rude.
She's got a love like whoa. Girls got a love like whoa. I kinda feel like it don't make sense, cause you're bringing me in and now you're kicking me out again. Love's so strong, then you moves on. Now I'm hung up in suspense, because you're bringing me in and then you're kicking me out again. She's got a love like whoa. Girls got a love like whoa. I kinda feel like it don't make sense, cause you're bringing me in and now you're kicking me out again. Love's so strong, then you moves on. Now I'm hung up in suspense, because you're bringing me in and then you're kicking me out again.
And I love you, Reba.
I love you too.
This also depends. I think everything really related to love depends, but
I think maybe after 6 months or after a year, because you've been with that person so long and you feel like you can trust them and you feel like that it's the right time to say it. You've been together for this long. It won't feel awkward that you're saying it because you've had so many memories together in the past 6 months or a year. And it's appropriate to say it at the time. I mean,
usually I'd say a month. Even that's a little too soon, I believe. I honestly don't confuse the feelings of lust at the beginning of a relationship for love.
Well, you definitely should not say it right away because we all know how your mother, he said it to Robin, like right away on the first date, and he totally creeped her out. She was like, what? Some people don't want serious relationships, and saying I love you will totally be like, oh. And
I personally wouldn't suggest you to go say I love you on the first date unless nothing, really. Unless, even if you love them, I wouldn't go telling them I love you on the first date. I think that's a bit risky, but I think you should wait a while and until you're not sure, until you're completely sure that you love the person, you shouldn't tell them, and then once you're sure, yeah, go tell them.
Otherwise, even if people don't mind it happening, like, you could say it in a relationship at later in the point, like, maybe, I'm not gonna say a time, because it matters how many times you go out, the time and how old you are, but basically, it's like, if you say it right away, it's gonna sound creepy, so maybe, like, after, like, you know them really well, and you know them as well as you know your best friend, kind of, like, you feel like you know them as well as your best friend, like, that kind of thing, as long as you actually know, like, what they like, what's their last name, those kind of things, like, things you know about your friend.
Like 2 weeks, it's kind of weird, like, it'll make the guys feel like you're too clingy, because you're like, oh, I love you, like, oh my god, I can't believe we're together, you just sound so desperate, like, you want to wait, like, 6 months or even a year to say it, because, you know, like, yeah, that's just weird, like, 6 months and a year are appropriate, because you've been with that person forever, and he could love you back also. Also, it's mostly, it'll feel good if the guy says it first, but usually that only happens in the fairy tales and in the movies, but, I think if a guy says it first, it's the sweetest thing, because you could say it back and you're already feeling comfortable that he won't laugh at you for saying it. But if you really want to say it, go ahead. If you really want to say it before he does, go ahead, because just don't say it like 2 weeks into your relationship, or even 6 weeks, or even like 2 months, because that's not long enough.
6 months. 6 months, that's my answer, 6 months. Because anything before that, you're rushing it big time.
Well, Mom, what if Brian gets so caught up in the romance of Valentine's Day and says it to you?
Then I'll just say, thank you.
If he says I love you, you cannot say thank you.
I think it's okay to say I love you back if you don't mean it, because you're saying it to put a smile on his face, yet he doesn't know what you're thinking.
Don't say it back if you don't mean it, because you will later turn around and that person will find out. They will always find out. Do not say it back if you don't mean it.
Of course it's okay not to say I love you back. I mean...
But I'm like mixed feelings on this question. I think maybe you shouldn't, because, I mean, you want to feel it. You want to feel that you love him. You want him to feel, you want to feel like what it feels like to say I love you, and to just have that smile on your face, the butterflies in your stomach, your heart beating really fast because you're nervous, like what he's going to say.
This person's going to feel hurt, but you don't want to lead this person in the wrong direction, do you? I think that it really, you could just say that I don't know what I feel about you yet, or love is a bit over the top, don't you think, or something like that. I don't even know. It really depends on the situation. I would probably freeze and not do anything, so I have no idea.
Just don't. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but just don't. Please. There are guys that are not players and get emotionally attached, and if you say it and you don't mean it, you are hurting them. It's wrong. If someone says it to me.
But, yeah, I actually agree you shouldn't say it if you don't mean it, because you want that feeling. You want the feeling of saying I love you to someone. Like, you want it to mean something. You want it to be, like, a really meaningful moment. You don't want, like, it to be like, oh, I love you, I'm not feeling anything, though, but... Like, you don't want to say just make him happy. You want to say it to make you happy and make you satisfied with yourself.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm a hypocrite. I'm going to be a hypocrite. If I'm not in a relationship with them and they say it, and it's like someone I've been flirting with, I tell them, look, I know we've been flirting for 3 or 4 months, but we're not in a relationship, and I don't think you should feel that way. If it's someone I've been in a relationship for more than 2 months, I'll say it back just to appease them. But other than that, I'm not gonna, like, if it was like a month, I'd be like, can we just see how this goes before we are making commitments? I guess that's a way to say it. Just say I'm not up for that stage of my life, or say that you've had problems with it and you don't really believe in it, and you'll have to prove it to you, and wink, and that makes it a little bit less awkward, I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, I would never say it back if I didn't mean it, unless it was a couple months and I just wasn't feeling it and I didn't have the heart to do it.
You'll be a woman soon. Love you so much, can't count all the ways I died for you, girl, and all they can say is not your kind.
Talk to me.
Okay, weird thing happened to me on the train this morning.
No. Talk dirty.
Whoa, here?
Say something hot.
What?
What?
Vulva.
A month?
I think, like I said, when you have to say I love you, when it's the right time to say I love you, maybe like a year.
I guess whenever you're ready, just don't do it like on the first date, as I said.
People have beliefs, religions to not do it, so like to do it after you get married, which is totally fine. And I'm Catholic, so it's kind of the same for me. But I totally think it's like, it's kind of what you comfortable with and what you're going to be okay with.
You have to be able to know that you're sure and that you really love the person. And yeah, I personally wouldn't, I don't know what I would do, because yeah, I don't know. I probably would wait, but it really depends on the person as well and the type of relationship you guys have. But I would say wait until at least after you say I love you. I think that's like the bare minimum for me.
Okay, here's the deal. With my friends, it's a matter of, it's been a month and you guys haven't done anything. Are you even serious? Like, I'm not kidding. A month? I mean, you don't have to, like, put it in the hole. But you gotta move forward a little bit. Like, there's a 19-year-old that I work with that's never been kissed. And I'm sitting here like, I feel like a slut. It's just a matter of it's personal preference. If it's more than a month, then usually, I don't know, it just means I'm serious with the guy. I guess it just depends on the guy. I mean, there's been months where there's no one, and then there's been months where there's 3 or 4 people. I mean, I can't talk. This isn't a question to ask me.
Or maybe 2 years, because if you're young, if you're like 18 or 19, actually, it's okay. I mean, if you've been with someone for like a year, I mean, I think it's okay to have sex with that person. Or maybe 6 months. I mean, it's not like it's like 2 weeks. Like, you just met someone like after like a club or something, or like a bar, or you've just been dating for someone for like 2 weeks and you want to go forward. No. I think it's like 6 months or a year, like the I love you thing, because, or it's just whenever you guys are ready. I mean, I don't think, it really depends on a time span. Whenever you guys are ready and comfortable with the satisfaction of doing the nasty with your significant other. I mean,
if you're old enough to make decisions, like, you should not really be really young. But if you're like more in an adult relationship, because the mistakes teenagers make is they're not really being safe and stuff with like the whole, yeah, but as long as you have like, I think as long as you're using adults, like I'm not gonna give you time, but as long as you have the mind of like an adult and you're thinking straight about things, then you should definitely like, whenever you feel comfortable. But if you don't have like that kind of mind, you should definitely not be doing that yet and wait a little longer at least.
Whenever you're ready, I just don't let anything stop you. Like, if you're ready, just go for it. Like, if you're at an age where you just like are so horny for that guy, you really want to do it, then go ahead. Like, but if you're not, like, that's basically for a virgin, what I'm saying, but if you're not a virgin, then mostly just wait for like 6 months, because you don't know the guy. He could have like STDs or something. You want to like check everything. You want to like talk to him about it. You want to like just talk about using protection. You want to do all that stuff. But yeah,
I guess whenever you feel comfortable, but I think if it's been over a year and you haven't done shit, you're a prude and I wouldn't like you. I would dump your ass. Is that bad? I feel like that's bad, but I would. So over a year, you're pushing it. I mean, over 6 months is pushing it for me to do like anything. If both of you guys are comfortable with each other, why not? I mean, you don't have to go all the way, but I don't know. This is very opinionated, and I can offend some people easily. I'm gonna shut up.
Because I don't like people. No. I don't necessarily don't like people. I just don't recommend you going around and sleeping with him before you even know what you feel for him. So, yeah.